preview these conference championship games before we get too much deeper into this episode.
Okay.
So I guess we'll start Friday night. Utah, USC. Utah did beat USC. It was at Utah, and they won it with a 2-point conversion, basically walk off.
Yeah, they scored to tie it with a PAT. They decided to go for 2, and they got it.
And that was at
And
home.
won.
That was in is it Provo? Or is
Something like
Provo
that.
or is Provo BYU? I
You're
never can
asking
remember
the
which
wrong
is which.
person. I know some of those, but not Utah. But no, that should be a really good one. Caleb Williams, though.
USC is favored by 3, by the way.
Caleb Williams has 3,712 yards on the season, 34 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions.
Yep.
Has he snuck into the I mean, not necessarily snuck, but has he kind of made some waves in the Heisman talk?
I think if they win Friday, he's the Heisman.
You think so?
At this point, yeah.
I think I might be with you, man. I mean,
the other guys
We
that were
didn't-
kind of in the discussion, Blake Corum, hurt the last couple of weeks. He hasn't really been able to put up any numbers, so he's out. Hendon Hooker hurt, had a couple of pretty subpar games. He's out.
Yep.
CJ Stroud, he's out.
Yeah.
After what happened on Saturday, I think he's out. Who else? Drake
I don't
May.
know who else it would.
Drake May was kind of getting some buzz there. They've lost back-to-back weeks. He's out. If you look at numbers only, I could build a case for Bijan Robinson to be the Heisman. I could make that case.
So hard to give it to a team,
but
with that many
again,
losses.
8-4 team. Yeah, unless you're Tim Tebow, who won it with an 8-win team, it's really tough. Yeah. I don't know who else it would be.
I'm right there with you, and it's just kind of funny because we didn't know what
Max
to
Duggan?
expect.
Max Duggan, maybe?
Ooh, that.
I haven't looked at his numbers, but maybe Max Duggan.
Let's go look real quick. Let's see.
Speaking of Max Duggan, TCU and Kansas State on Saturday at 11 o'clock. TCU favored by 2.5. I guess we didn't pick the game. I'm taking USC.
We didn't. I mean, it's hard not. I mean, I'm taking USC. My grandpa's a big USC guy. He's from Southern Cal. He's from Blythe, California. It's like a little town out there. And he's been paying attention to him, and I've been trying to keep up with him too. And we just didn't know what to expect with this Lincoln Riley, Caleb Williams new era in USC. But
and all the transfers, but it's worked. It's clicked.
It seems like they've finally figured that shit out.
It's like I'm pretty sure I said at the beginning of the season, like it may be rough at the start, but once they get it figured out with all the new transfers and stuff, they may be the most dangerous team in the country by the end of the season.
Ooh,
it's kind of worked out that way.
They got a shot, man. If they handle business this weekend, I mean, they're in, right?
Yeah. If they win, they're in. That's 100%.
So
TCU and Kansas. Again, TCU 2.5-point favorite. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Horned Frogs. I'm gonna go with Max Duggan. On the year, he is 221 of 332, 3,070 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. So
he's
right there behind Caleb Williams. We'd have to check some rushing stats on him and stuff to kind of see where that's at. But
I'm actually going Kansas State.
Are you?
I have a feeling. It's so hard to beat a team twice in a season. I know I just picked USC to beat Utah for the second time, but
no, Utah won. Remember?
I mean, I just picked USC to win against. No, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
You're good, but that's why
it's so hard.
USC.
It's so hard to beat a team twice. It's so hard.
And not only that, but TCU has been hanging on by the skin of their teeth, as an old saying I used to get back in the day.
Yeah. The last couple of weeks they've blown people out, but they played a lot of close games, a lot of comebacks.
Right.
I just have a feeling with Kansas State.
We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna stick with TCU. They seem like they're on a roll. Max Duggan's playing really well. Even though they are hanging by the skin of their teeth in some games, they're finishing them. So
Yeah.
as long as they can keep that lucky streak, excuse me, with them, then I think they can handle business.
All right. The two that might not be worth even talking about, LSU, Georgia, and Purdue, Michigan. You give either one of the underdogs a chance.
Not really. I mean, I want to be a good spirit and say LSU has a little bit just because it's a kind of an underrated rivalry. Um, but Georgia's just too good.
I think
I
LSU can
know.
keep it within. I think they can keep it within 2 scores, but that's about it.
Yeah, it depends if their defense can play well because I know that our defense is going to keep them
Yeah.
below 20 points. So
Like I'm looking at that line. It's Georgia by 17 and a half. I'm looking at that line and thinking I might take the points with LSU, but
I mean
Georgia's
that's
winning the
not
game.
that's not a bad decision. I can agree with you there. But
Georgia's
I
winning the
could
game.
also see a recipe for them covering.
Oh yeah.
It could
Oh, I
definitely
could definitely
happen.
see it. I could absolutely see it. And then Purdue, Michigan, 16 and a
Not a
half point line.
I
I'm not
think
even
Michigan covers.
yeah, I'm not even touching the line on that.
Me
If I
neither,
play
because it
that
is
game, it's going to be
close.
playing Michigan.
Right. I'm with you there.
I think that's a 3+ score game.
Yep.
Last year in the Big 12 in the Big 10 title game, Michigan won like 77-10 or something like that
Oh, that's right.
against Iowa. It may not have
Oh
been that
man.
bad, but I'm pretty sure Michigan put up 70.
I think it was
Um,
something like that. Yeah.
so that I think that game's going to get ugly and get ugly in a hurry.
I'm with you.
Clemson, North Carolina. So the last of the Power Fives.
I'm
Uh,
gonna say
no
I'm gonna go
playoff
North Carolina.
implications. I think I'm with you.
I like Drake May,
I think I'm with
and
you. They've lost back-to-back weeks, which is never a good sign, but I think they bounce back and beat Clemson.
yeah, because Clemson also just lost in
Yeah.
not great fashion. And then not only that, but they don't seem to be the Clemson that
They're
we
not
had for a
Clemson.
few years.
They're
Yeah,
not.
it's just
They
not
don't have a dynamic like, you know, NFL bound quarterback like they have recent years.
true. Yep. I mean, I
I
like
mean,
DJ
DJ Uyunglele.
Uyalungale, something like that.
Close.
He's not bad, but you're right. He's not quite up to that caliber.
No, no, he's not.
And you
And
never know. Some guys surprise us. He might end up doing something in the future. I mean, Josh Allen was a guy that nobody really predicted to be that great of a quarterback, and now
yeah,
look at him. So you never
but
know. But
I do like Clemson. I mean, I do like North Carolina in this game.
I'm with you there. So we're not too indifferent on any of these. Well, Kansas State. You took Kansas State.
I did
I'm
take
taking
Kansas State.
TCU. I'm gonna go with the Frogs.
The line on that one is Clemson by 7.5. I might be thinking about the money line on that one, not gonna lie. And just taking North Carolina outright.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Oh
All
man,
right.
that should actually be a good one. I know you said no playoff implications or anything, but I mean, still,
Yeah, it should be a fun
you
game.
definitely always want to be able to hang a banner.
And UCF Tulane will be a fun game too.
I agree.
You know, no playoff implications there either, but that'll be a fun game. It's UCF's last game as a member of the AAC before they join the Big 12 next year. And
Weird.
you know, Tulane, I'm sure, doesn't want somebody who's leaving the conference to leave with the conference title. So
Right.
that should be fun.
Yep, I agree. All right, should be a good conference championship weekend. I'm excited
Yeah,
for it.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. All right. Is there anything that we need to cover before we get into the NFL? I don't think so. I think
I
we're I think
believe so. As we just guessed it, or as we picked, I have Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and USC. So I have those as my top 4. So I guess you would technically have. It would end up being probably Ohio State,
Personally, I would still take TCU,
even if they lose.
even if they lose. I mean, it's going to depend on how they lose. If it's a really
True.
close game, which I expect, then I would probably still take TCU because you can't get blown out. I don't like when you get blown out and still, make the playoffs. I don't like that.
Like I said, it looked like they gave up in that fourth quarter, and even though it's just one quarter,
I don't
you
want a team
can't-
that gives up
Yeah, you can't do that.
in the playoff.
No, I'm with you
So
there.
I think that if I'm right and TCU does lose, the committee's going to take Ohio State, and it'll
I
be
think
Ohio
you're right,
State,
too.
Georgia in the first round, and Georgia will kick the crap out of Ohio State.
I hope so.
That Ohio State's
That's a
not
tougher
stopping
draw
Georgia.
for first round though than most.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at USC right now. If things finish the way
That's
they are,
true.
it's Georgia USC,
That's actually true.
which is not any easier. Now that
And
USC's
then I'm
defense
gonna
is
have to cheer
much
against my grandpa.
now USC's defense is much worse than Ohio State, and Ohio State's defense is not going to stop Georgia. But
So yeah.
USC, Georgia would probably put up 60 on USC.
We'll see. We'll see.
Like they could probably pull an Oregon State and just run the ball every time and put up 40.
They've been making me nervous lately.
Yeah, that's because they're already in.
Yeah, I know. That's the hard part. It's got to be really hard to stay complacent. Is that the right word?
To not be complacent.
There you go. To not be complacent and stay pedal to the metal. It's tough.
Yeah.
But I think they got it.